What's happening, folks? Welcome back to the channel Sports, Life, and Politics TV. I'm Samuel Koppel, YouTube's #1 couch detective, and I'm here for the news. And here today, we're going to be going over several news clips, starting out with Cam Newton getting jumped at a 7-on-7 football camp for the youth in Atlanta, Georgia. A U.S. Air Forceman sets himself ablaze in protest because of the Israel and Palestine war. He said he would no longer be a part of the genocide. Also, some security footage was released from the shooting at I think it's Joel Osteen. He had a mega church down in Houston, and a lady came in there with her child shooting inside of the church. We'll take a look at this trip to the border for both Biden and Trump. And a man in Vegas shot dead during an altercation. But let's start off first with this Cam Newton thing. Cam Newton gets jumped at 7-on-7 football tournament in Atlanta. Now, Cam Newton is an ex-football player. He used to play for the Carolina Panthers, and I think he also went on to play for the Patriots too. Maybe one more team, but I know those two teams for sure. And Cam Newton was a former MVP, made it to a Super Bowl, and was one of the biggest, hardest running quarterbacks in the history of the league. He has a lot he could teach the youth. I remember he went to Auburn, and in one season, it was just an explosive year. We had never seen nothing like it. And he went on to the NFL, and he had a great career. And he has his youth football camps, and some of these young people there can get extremely disrespectful. And this is not the first time Cam Newton has got into it. Some other people at another camp was disrespectful towards Cam and were saying rude, unruly things. And people, they make the comparison saying that white football camps, you never get this, and white parents just, I mean, I didn't see white parents at all type of youth baseball games and all type of shit, act the fool too. So it's more of an individual thing. It's not a racial thing. 99.999% of all black people who go out to these type of youth camps and stuff, they would never do nothing like this. It's like 99% of all parents when they go to a little league baseball game when they're white are not gonna act a fool or want to beat up the rest. But there are a small percentage of people who do like to get themselves involved in the chicanery. Let's take a look at the clip.
Video surfaced yesterday showing the former Panthers quarterback at a youth football tournament. Video shows Newton being shoved by at least three people. Police and security officially breaking up the altercation. The event all supposed to help train young athletes in his hometown of Atlanta.
So Newton last played briefly.
And as you can see when you look on the clip, Cam Newton is 6'6". I would imagine he weighs around 250 pounds. And he can sling you around like a rag doll. Let's take a look again. See, there's a longer clip, obviously, that started on a stage and it got off into the side where a fence was at. But let's take a look again. And you see the dude in the white, he came in there. I don't know if he was trying to hit the dude that was holding Cam Newton or he was trying to hit Cam Newton. But it don't look like the punch connected with Cam Newton. But for whatever reason, Cam Newton receives a lot of disrespect, and he's out here just trying to help the young man. He's supposed to be out there, yes, sir, no, sir, asking questions that can help you get over the top and get ahead. Even if they said there was adults, if it was parents, if you're a parent that's there and your child is there, you have no business getting into it with Cam Newton. Black people, some of these people think, I won't say black people, but there are individuals who think that you can solve things through violence without having some kind of conflict resolution. Sometimes you have to talk things out. But when the disrespects become too much, too fast, you never know what can happen. Hell, I could be out there fighting. I would hope not to, and try to make the choice not to. But disrespect sometimes can cause people to, for it to lead to some kind of physical altercation. But I know Cam Newton, when he came out to this camp, I guarantee you 100%, the last thing it was on his mind was fighting somebody at the camp. I can guarantee you that.
The video surfaced yesterday showing the former Panthers quarterback at a youth football tournament. Video shows Newton being shoved by at least three people. Police and security officially breaking up the altercation. The event all supposed to help train young athletes in his hometown of Atlanta.
So Newton last played briefly for the Panthers back in 2021. He spent 11 seasons with the NFL, split between Carolina and the New England Patriots. NFL former quarterback Robert Griffin III chiming in saying he's used to being a one-man army, so you're delusional if you thought some guy jumping in was going to phase him. It's unclear, though, what started this altercation.
Yeah, I would love to know exactly what started the altercation, because obviously there's going to be Cam's side, their side, and then somewhere lies in there is the truth. But, obviously there's nothing you can do to get me to believe that Cam Newton wanted this to happen. But you never know. He could have started it. I doubt it very seriously. There could be evidence to show, hey, Cam started the whole thing. He walked on stage out of nowhere and started slapping and slinging on folks. I doubt it very seriously, but you never know. Obviously, more will come out about this case, and if it does, I'll retouch it again. Let's take a look at this next clip. Man sets himself on fire at Israeli embassy here in the United States. Now, setting yourself on fire for protest is not new. We obviously seen that during the Vietnam War in Tibet. We've seen it in China, I think, and I think there was the monks maybe in Vietnam, and in Tibet it was the monks, and it was a huge thing of setting yourself on fire in protest. And this young white male did this in protest of the Palestine and Israeli war. And you have to be dead serious in your protest to set yourself ablaze. Because there ain't too many things I'm protesting I'm to set myself on fire for. So the first thing you would want to know is, where was he at mentally? Obviously, because a lot of people are against the war. But to set yourself ablaze and kill yourself is very, very extreme. Very extreme. But it does causes a lot of eyes to be pointed towards you. We'll see how this case is covered, because we know a lot of, which side between Israel and Palestine, which side really controls the media in the United States. So I don't know. This man was dead set against Israel, dead set against the war, and said it's a complete genocide. But let's take a look at the clip.
Yesterday, 25-year-old.
I'm sorry, this ain't the clip. I want to look at this one. I'm sorry. Fair use, fair use.
Tonight, President Biden saying late today that there is now hope for a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas within days. By next Monday, comes amid a horrific scene.
Wait a goddamn minute. Did that man just say there's going to be a ceasefire within days? Did this man set himself on fire too soon? Say it ain't so, Smoking Joe. Now, that's why I say sometimes things can be too extreme. But my thing is, where was he at mentally? Was he on medication? Did he have a recent breakup with a girlfriend? Was he, I don't know. It's like you just want to know what was going on. You love to see a social media post. And what was it about? And what kind of person was he? And what was he into?
Israeli embassy in Washington, D.C., a U.S. airman setting himself on fire.
Tonight, in a rare and horrifying act of protest, reminiscent of the days of the Vietnam War, an active duty U.S. airman setting himself on fire, growing death toll in Gaza.
This call, we just got a man on fire.
That man, identified as 25-year-old Aaron Bushnell from San Antonio, live streaming himself Sunday outside of the gates of the Israeli embassy in Washington. Because of its explicit nature, ABC News is not showing the actual video. In it, Bushnell says, quote, "I will no longer be complicit in genocide," about to engage in an extreme act of protest. Moments later, Bushnell puts his phone down, pours some liquid over his head, and lights himself afire, screaming, "Free Palestine." He falls to the ground, engulfed in flames. First responders using fire extinguishers to douse the flames. It was too late.
You gotta be a tough mofo to be screaming "Free Palestine" instead of "Put me out." Lord have mercy. Because you would think, like, once you set yourself ablaze or once you jump off a building, there has to be a small sense of regret. A little bit, you would think. But at the same time, I ain't never been in, somebody's mental state who ready to end it all. So.
Bushnell died. A stunning scene in Washington, coming amid chaotic scenes in Gaza. A massive crowd swarming the streets, desperate for food and supplies. Airdropped by Jordan.
Today, let's bring in here live in Washington. I want to get back to what the president said late today. In fact, just before we came on the air tonight, President Biden now saying,
What the hell is a black dude got a little Hitler mustache? What is that about? Who wants a mustache that goddamn small? You need to cut that off.
he's hopeful for a ceasefire in Gaza within days.
Just a short time ago, the president said he's hoping a ceasefire deal will be in place by next Monday. Israel now agreeing to the framework for a ceasefire, 6-week ceasefire, in exchange for dozens of hostages, including Americans. David, no response yet from Hamas.
Pierre Thomas in Washington. Thank you, Pierre.
That's very interesting, man. Willing to set herself on fire. I'm a little suspicious. My Negro spidey senses is tingling a little bit about this case. But, as more information come out, I might retouch on that again. Let's take a look at this. Security footage released from the Lakewood church shooting. That was the Joel Osteen church shooting that happened here recently. Let's take a look at this clip.
Body camera video from inside Joel Osteen's Lakewood church showed the suspect and mother with her 7-year-old son. The mother carrying 2 rifles and then opening fire.
Wait a minute. So the mother brought her child with her to do a mass shooting? She couldn't find a babysitter? Man. She couldn't find a babysitter. Is it that bad out here where you take the child on a mass shooting? And he in the back of there asking, are we there yet? Wow. That's the first time I think I've ever heard of this. Man, some of these people are whacked out of their minds. And I always talk about MK Ultra mind control and people being under programming. And there's a lot of wacky things going on out here. So could you imagine the things that child was enduring in a house with a woman who was willing to go to a church and do a mass shooting? I mean, even if she was treating him right, after this, the psychological damage is just, he might not be no good.
Firing back. Are difficult. Here's Maria Villarreal.
Tonight, newly released body camera video showing the violent gun battle inside Joel Osteen's Houston megachurch. Officers feet away from the shooter Janice Moreno as she begins firing inside Lakewood Church's atrium just before a Spanish service had to start. Surveillance video outside the arena shows Moreno wearing a trench coat, pulling her 7-year-old son and a large bag with AR-style weapons from the back.
Oh, AR-style weapons. Yep, program. In my personal opinion, I'm not saying the shooting wasn't real. Everything was real. What I'm saying is there's no doubt about it. This lady's programmed to do these type of things. You can't tell me. Because I guarantee you can't go look at her social media. All that's washed. You can't find nothing on her. They're not going to let you look at none of that. You're not going to get to look and see who she was taking psych meds, who the doctor was, what medication it was it suicidal side effects, none of that. But guess what? You can guarantee in all these mass shootings, and I've been covering them for years now, and people who watch the channel know this for a fact, they all have AR-15s. There's no way everybody got an AR-15 because there's just too many different kinds of guns. Where is the AK? Well, I never see the AK. They never do mass shootings with an AK. Only the AR-15, which the government is dying to find some kind of assault rifle band.
People running for cover as she opens fire inside. Moreno's son seen here covering his ears, then reaching for his mother before she pulls away. Off-duty officers working security along with uniformed police engaging Moreno.
And you see that lady cop. Let me tell you something about a lot. I will say not all officers, but about 90%, in my personal opinion, they aren't really prepared for shootouts, and they're not great at shootouts. A lot of times when I watch these videos, the first thing I realize is that they don't take proper angles. They don't have real game plans like you might think they should. Now, the SWAT team, that's totally different. They practice that every day, all day. Most police officers practice for domestic violence, conflict resolution, and talking and pulling over and trying to write a ticket, that type of stuff. When you see a lot of these police officers in shootouts, they're they make some of the worst decisions I ever seen. And I'm not saying these are just the worst I've ever seen. I'm just saying in general, like, they're not very good. Look at this woman officer again. Look at her look. Look at her look. Watch this lady's look.
Before she pulls away. Off-duty officers work in security along with uniformed police.
This lady looked like she's ready to take off running. And I'm not saying you shouldn't be scared or fearful, but when you take a job as an officer, you have to automatically know that there's a high likelihood somewhere in my career, maybe 2 or 3 times, I'm gonna have to get into a shootout. And you would think people would be prepared for that, but they're not. Should there be women police officers? I'm 50-50 on that. A lot of them just aren't, they're not ready for that. It's too much action. It's too scary. The adrenaline is too high. And I don't know. Would you want this if everything was dependent on her, between her and the gunman? This lady she's a dundada. Yeah. This is a plucked duck in the pot. Yeah, she's done and cooked.
Engaging one another who fires dozens of rounds. You can hear one of the officers praying on the body camera.
Father God, just be with us. Give us more sense.
And you can hear the fear in her heart, in her voice. I ain't saying not those people not fearful or scared, but it's coming time for action. You talking about forgive you for your sin, for our sins? You act like it's over with, like you just to die. No, hell no. We just go put this person down, then we can ask for forgiveness and all that prayer afterwards.
Before officers take down Moreno.
David, that little boy has been through 6 surgeries so far, but a bit of good news from his dad.
So the little boy was shot. Wow. They just jumped to the little boy who was been 6 surgeries. So I'm not surprised he got shot. It was a lot of gunfire. And his mom took him on a goddamn movie adventure. I don't know what the hell the mom was thinking or where she was at mentally. Obviously, she wasn't in the right headspace. There's no doubt about that. I would assume that she's under some kind of psych meds. I would assume she's under some kind of programming. Yeah, AR-style pistol. But this lady so whacked out of her mind, she just took the baby on the goddamn shootout.
Posted that he's actually off a ventilator and breathing on his own tonight. David?
We're all in Texas for it.
Well, good for the little boy that he's actually, off the ventilator and doing a little bit better. Let's take a look at this. Trip to the border. Biden and Trump to visit U.S.-Mexico border. The borders are basically open at this point. There's no doubt about that. People are flooding in here left and right, and they're being handing out all type of welfare checks, food stamps, grants, and everything else you can imagine. And black people still ain't never received reparations. Ain't that about a bitch? Let's take a look at the clip.
Texas, both on the same day.
The president will meet with law enforcement in Brownsville, then about 330 miles away. The former president is expected to make remarks at Eagle Pass. Fox's Madeline Rivera has more. Both President Joe Biden and former President Trump are headed to the U.S.-Mexico border Thursday. They're dueling as a race.
Wait a minute. Man, look how much barbed wire. Thank God Texas got a lot of money because they would run out of cold hard cash on barbed wire. Look at all that damn barbed wire. Man, ain't no telling how many people. Look at all them clothes. Ain't no telling how many people got caught up in that barb. They got $20 million worth of barbed wire. This is ridiculous. And do I agree? Should they let all these immigrants in? Absolutely not. Let them stay where the hell they at. I'm gonna tell you, I've said it in several videos with this immigration policy that the United States had. These regular white citizens are gonna start picking these people off. They're gonna start sniping, killing. Oh man, I told them from the very beginning, the violence is gonna ratchet up here over time. There's no doubt about that.
The 2024 presidential election ramps up, setting up a showdown over immigration. With less than 9 months to go before voters head to the polls. Republicans have been critical of the Biden administration's handling of migrants crossing into the United States.
An open border is the Biden border policy. Full stop. That has been their policy.
But Democrats say it's Republicans who are to blame.
The Republican Party is responsible today.
Let me see this again. Did you see this?
Full stop.
It looked like to people. Wait a minute.
But Democrats say
Look at this. You got the guards walking along the fence, and you got the migrants walking through the water looking for a way in. I would love to see how that ended. And then I'm gonna say another thing too. This whole thing of Republicans being totally against the border. Yes, the people who are Republicans, a lot of them, especially within state, but within government, they all in cahoots. I don't care what you say, especially when you talk about Congress and the Senate. When them people go down in them chambers, they all on the same page. All they do is come out to the public. In my personal opinion, this is alleged. They play good cop, bad cop. Because these people, we done let in over 8 million people over the last year. And you telling me that the Republicans can do nothing but complain on Fox News. Give me a break. Now, within the states, yes, they're trying very, very hard, especially states like Texas. Texas got enough money and enough land to become its own country. So, yes, I believe statewide, but federally, yeah, they want these people in there.
it's Republicans who are to blame.
The Republican Party is responsible today now for the conditions that persist because of their unwillingness to work with this president who went farther than any Democratic president in my lifetime on a comprehensive package.
President Biden last visited the border in January 2023. The White House says Thursday the president will, quote, discuss.
Because if you don't want those people there, you can take extreme measures. I'm not even. Hopefully, your common sense could kick in what extreme measures are. When somebody comes to your border, you can have military there, and it's a no-go. It's a no-fly zone. Nothing's going through. It's bullets or else type vibe. But like I said, they in cahoots. Got to be the federal government. They got to be.
The urgent need to pass the Senate bipartisan border security agreement, the toughest and fairest set of reforms to secure the border in decades. But the president's plan ties border security measures to aid for Ukraine and Israel, a deal that House Speaker Mike says doesn't go far enough on border security and will never see the light of day in his chamber.
Folks, doing nothing is not an option.
The president.
I mean, you guys, it kills when you say doing nothing is not an option. You've been doing nothing. What are you talking about? It's not an option. That's the option you've taken. You guys would love to keep doing nothing. It's ridiculous, but they want to keep flooding these people in here. Obviously, black people are no longer, hook, line, and sinker with the Democratic Party. So, I mean, some things got to change. They got to fix. They got to get a new demographic in here. And the only way is to bring people in from Guatemala at this point. Venezuela, they done dug deep into the barrel now. Lord have mercy. Let's take a look at this right here in Las Vegas, where I stay. Las Vegas man shot dead during live interview. Mother files for some kind of, I think the mother is like suing. I don't know who she's suing, but the mother's suing somebody. Let's take a look at this clip.
Tonight from the 80s Now investigators, a man is shot and killed during a live interview and the shooter facing no charges.
The victim's mother just filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the only two other adults who were after. There's more to this story. Sat down only with 80s Now investigator Vanessa.
That's what I didn't have. So I said, you know what?
This is a live interview on YouTube, which ends in a tragic way.
I'm dragging up. I don't know what happened there.
37-year-old Glendor Coney Jr. is the man seen in this reflection on the television screen. He died at the scene after being shot in the head, neck, and shoulder. The other two adults at the scene, Bree Florence, the homeowner, and Lydell Birch, also known as Mocha Blast, and a cast member from the show Life After Lockup.
I'm not leaving it back up.
Hey, and I've watched that show, Life After Lockup. I haven't seen it with him on there, but that show is hilarious. And anytime you get in a person who's coming in out of jail, ain't no telling what liable to go wrong.
I mean, the time, because I got blood all over.
Okay.
You good? If you want me to, I can just arm the gun, take the bullets out of it, or leave it as is.
This is Birch speaking with a 911 operator after Florence made the call. 911 emergency.
I can't believe I just had to break in my house.
Right now, this does appear to be an isolated incident.
Metro Police say Coney showed up at Florence's home. They exchanged words outside. He took out a baseball bat, smashed cars, and then entered the house. It appears he was angry about Birch being inside the home since he and Florence had a history. They had been in an on.
Wait, I know damn well they wasn't fighting over this white woman who was clearly going into rigor mortis. There's no way in hell they was fighting over this 75-year-old blonde bombshell. It gets more believable by the second. And I'm not laughing because the black man died. But there ain't no way you should be wrestling, tussling, busting out windows over this white woman. I know she probably has the talent to suck a watermelon through through a water hose, but this is outrageous. I mean, she doesn't have one physical feature that gets you going.
And toxic relationship for close to 3 years, according to his mother and best friend.
3 years, it had to be. If it was that toxic, you got to get some kind of drugs involved. Or it's a lot of drug addicts in the United States in general, but it is an inordinate amount of drug addicts in Las Vegas.
I wish he was still here. I wish that this didn't happen. And I'm sorry that it did.
Deborah Gates and Chelsea Valentine describe a much different man from the way Coney was described at the scene.
So that was another white woman that we seen with the mama. So he's a white woman lover. And ain't nothing wrong if you want to love white women, Mexican, Asian. You can love whoever you want to love. But what I'm saying is, obviously, he had a type. And he was willing to go batshit crazy over this white woman because she found another dude. A younger dude, looked like a more in shape dude. And if he just came home from the pen, he was laying certified pipe on that lady too. And when I think about it, he's laying on the pipe on a lady that's going into rigor mortis. What is that called when you what is that called when you people who sleep with dead people? What's the term for that? I can't think of that right now, but it's a term for that.
A gentle giant at 6'5", who coached basketball and worked security at a middle school.
I miss him every day.
That's why Lydell Birch is accused of being a scam artist. A Facebook page even dedicated.
He looked like an African scammer too. Let's look at him again.
Basketball and worked security at a middle school.
I miss him every day.
That's why Lydell.
Yeah, he got a little African scammer in him, don't he? Or Atlanta scammer. Unbelievable.
Accused of being a scam artist. A Facebook page even dedicated to him with more than 3,000 members. Victims of Lydell Birch. Dozens of women say he did.
So Lydell Birch was laying pipe and emptying bank accounts. Wow.
And then swindled them. But as for what unfolded at this scene, he won't be charged. The Clark County District Attorney's Office calls it self-defense.
My boyfriend shot him as he broke down my door. The person who went inside the house, the suspect, you know who he is? Yes, he was a boy of mine.
So this man then bust down that door yelling out, "Unhand my white woman." I mean, this type of shit just blows my mind. Ain't no vagina that good. Ain't no goddamn mouth that good. Ain't nothing that good to make you want to. I can see if he had 6 kids with her and they was in his home and I can understand the rage, but come on, man, this lady is clearly off The Walking Dead. Give me a break.
We were living together, and he came in the house and said he was messing. He got my boyfriend and he broke the door down, and he did help her. And she said, I got the cough set up. I have officers on the way, and I have medical on the way. I need to take a breath from me. Your ex-boyfriend, that's the one that is shot. Yes, no, he wasn't even that cute, just a friend.
The 8 News Now investigators reached out to both Birch and Florence. During the phone call, Birch used profanity and hung up. In an email, Florence declined to comment.
Still hard to believe today.
How do you handle each day?
Pray to God. Ask God to help me to deal with it because, the feelings come and go. Sometimes I'm angry, mostly sad.
Vanessa Murphy, 8 News Now.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate situation, for the mama to lose a child. But, sometimes when your children aren't around you, some of the things that they do can get them shot or killed or hurt seriously. Can't go over nobody's house beating on the car with baseball bats, busting through the door, yelling out, unhand my white woman. That'll get you shot and killed. We're going to move on to the next case. Elijah Vu missing, charges filed. When I see parents like this and I see a small child, a lot of times it'd be ritualistic sacrifices with these children. You know, when I was coming up, you said, how does woman kill all three of her kids? Or how does, but if you actually listen to court cases, actually start, actually get to see the police reports and all that, because they kind of hide that. They kind of give you this vague story. I'm not say vague, but they give you just a, overview of the story, but the detail, a lot of the small details be left out. Text messages, emails, social media accounts, all that stuff, they really don't put it to a 2-minute segment. When you dig into it, you'd be surprised how many cases where children are killed like this are satanic and ritualistic in nature. Let's take a look at this clip.
His mother and the man who was in their home maybe second first year are a real together. The last 7 days, find a lighter blue
Week later, I checked through.
And not only is there, ritualistic sacrifice, but that also comes with ritualistic child abuse. And it's always sexual in nature. This is the man that lived in the home. So he wasn't like a stepfather or nothing. He just lived in the home. See, that's that sounds odd. That doesn't even sound. Listen to that again. Let's listen to that one more time. Odd.
Prosecutors say Howard told him
The mom left her with a roommate, a man who's not her boyfriend. I don't know what's going on here. This is very, very vague. He wasn't a boyfriend. She left him in the care for a week. Where the fuck was she at for a week? Yeah, they lying. They lying. They killed that little boy and hid that body somewhere. God knows where. Might have ate him. Who knows? This shit get real sick and sadistic. But yeah, they lying for sure, for sure. That's why they got arrested immediately. They start listening to this. You say, what? You left with who? Well, how long you leave for? A week. And where you was at? You say you went to sleep and the little boy, he unlocked the door and walked out. At 3? Oh, boy, y'all going to jail. Come on. Bring your ass in here. It's time to go. There it is. I knew it. See, a lot of people, when you might hear that, you might just hear what they said. They left for bad behavior. That's strange. Oh, yeah, that's satanic. What kind of bad behavior makes it where you leave your child with a man who's not his father, who's not his stepfather, for a whole week as a punishment? You say what to who, when, where, and how? What? That sounds batshit crazy. But like I told you, this was satanic and ritualistic in nature, and there's no doubt about that in my mind. Here one more time. Well, that's clear as day. There's no doubt about that. Um, a little boy just don't walk off like that. And obviously, nobody leaves their son with somebody for a week for a punishment. I mean, what did he do? Break his toy? It just sounds strange, you guys. It really, really does. Let's take a look at this next clip. New images of the Odyssey Moon rover sending new images of lunar surface. Now, I'm gonna tell you, I always talk about, well, not always, but I have several videos over the past couple of years talking about space. When I was growing up as a kid, I was extremely interested in space, uh, other planets and universes, and galaxies and black holes, and all that stuff just intrigued me. The speed of light, all that stuff, it's still intriguing. But as I got older, I realized some of this shit just flat out ain't true. Or they're exaggerating the truth and stretching the truth at best. I want you to take a look at this clip. Odyssey Moon rover sending new images of lunar surface.
Odysseus moon mission sending new images of the lunar surface. Says,
Now, you sent some shit all the way to the moon. We have the greatest cameras in the history of the world. We have cameras with 10 million megapixels. Your phone might have 16. This is a one a 1 megapixel picture. At first I thought it was the moon. I'm like, oh, this is a picture of the outside of the moon. You know what this is, y'all? This is a picture of the ground of the lunar on the moon. So it's not the actual picture of the moon. It's a picture of the lunar of the ground because the craft landed on the moon. What kind of bullshit picture is it? What? Where is the crystal clear 8K, 12K clarity? Where is it? You get better. I seen a better picture on the first camera phone, the ones that flipped up. Take a picture with my camera phone. I seen better pictures on that than this is.
landing site is the furthest south any vehicle.
Look at this. What kind of photo is? What is this? That's what makes it so difficult to believe these people. It's like either it's shit on the moon that they are completely hiding, don't want you to see, don't want you to know, or they're lying because these pictures are terrible.
Ground controls. Unfortunately, the Odysseus expected to lose power tomorrow after it landed sideways last week. Sunlight was shining on the solar panels.
So I think that little arrow they got pointed is actually Odysseus. So they say. So they say. They take a picture of a clip of a square piece of the moon that they say, we don't know. That could be the fucking desert of Nevada. This is ridiculous.
Tomorrow morning, that's 2 to 3 days short of what they had hoped. The moon lander is the first private spacecraft ever to reach the lunar surface.
Look at that. Look at that. Where is the video of the whole landing? Where's the video of the whole landing? Give me the last 2 minutes while I was landing. Give me that. They never give you that shit. Let's take another look at another small clip. Just to look at the photographs, just so bad. Look, just so bad, y'all. Just so bad. Odysseus. Just look at billions of dollars in the photograph. I want y'all to think about it. Billions of dollars, and these are the photographs we get. And obviously, this was from this was the first, I think, private spacecraft sent to the moon. But regardless, they still spend billions of dollars. It used to be our money that we were spending, and we get these bullshit photos. But the photos remain the same. It's always some bullshit. So it's supposed to last 3 to 4 days, but it only lasts 24 hours. You can buy that shit if you want. I don't buy it for 1 second. It is what it is. I mean, I mean, they just selling water to a whale, peanuts to an elephant. Unbelievable. But, you know, those are some clips I just wanted to go over, you guys. There's a lot of news that's going around. I'm going to still keep covering it. Like I said, I'm going to do videos a little more often than I had been doing them. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. This has been Sports, Life, and Politics TV. I'm Samuel Koppel, YouTube's #1 couch detective. I'm here for the news. Hit that like. Hit that subscribe. I just took your ass. I don't believe they really landing on the moon like that. Right. Peace.